cringe, I found it fun. That's why I'm so much happier than you, because you are so afraid of being whimsy and joyous on what's essentially a floating blue dot in the universe of planets, stars, and galaxies that don't care whether you're cringe or not. Like, the fact that the public is too afraid to public is crazy, because when we eventually all croak, we go into the same place. Yeah, 6 feet under that dirt. Look, man, I'm the first person to say that I used to genuinely be scared of going outside of my house, because not only do I have anxiety and a panic disorder, okay, but I was so scared of having a panic attack outside in front of the public, because they would have looked at me, started getting out their phones and being like, she's having a panic attack, how cringe is that? I mean, they'd be kind of right, because imagine panicking about literally existing, because then I'll just make myself feel really bad about having anxiety when it's like, I didn't ask for this, you didn't ask for it either. One of the biggest reasons for people being so anxious to be themselves and not wanting to look stupid out in public is because Instagram accounts like Influencers in the Wild exist. Oh, so I can't dance with my friends beneath the beautiful sunset in a basketball court where the public can go in public, because some creepy ass dude may film me and my friends being whimsy and joyous and plaster it all over the internet because it's cringe. Imagine being a fully grown adult, frontal lobe fully developed, and you're upset at teenagers being innocent teenagers. Oh, when's my lobotomy appointment? Probably right about now. People have been so conditioned into constantly putting on a performance in front of other people whenever they are to leave their house, all in fear of being posted onto TikTok, onto Twitter, garnering negative attention that you didn't ask for simply because you're being a human being, let alone a teenager being a teen. Did we somehow collectively forget that we're just flesh and bones covered by a skin suit? I mean, it's just not that serious. For all we know, it could have been some really sad old man who absolutely hates his daughters because his daughters were treated absolutely terrible by this annoying old man. And he sat there filming these teenage girls, reminiscing over the times that he used to scream at his daughters for being whimsy, fun, joyous girls. And it looks to be this group of teenage girls are making a TikTok, maybe inspired by Dress to Impress from Roblox. Oh, my ears are bleeding. From what? Are you allergic to fun, sir? Are you just jealous because you can't have whimsy, joyous fun like us girls? Oh, it's because teenagers are having fun and they don't want to have anything to do with you. No, that is just, oh my god, get me away, my ears are bleeding. First of all, they weren't even that loud to begin with. And on top of that, you are in a public space where the public be publicing. Oh no, a group of teenage girls having so much fun together, filming a TikTok. I mean, how will you ever recover from it? It's crazy how teens nowadays are just trying to find ways to be teenagers without having social media jump down their throats for everything they do. Wearing crop tops? The teens nowadays are trying too hard to be grown. Watching SpongeBob still? The teens of today really need to grow up. But then when teenagers do the teenage thing, it's still a problem. My ears are bleeding, nails on a chalkboard. Yet y'all complain whenever teenagers act and try so hard to be grown adults. But with that obvious aside, these random teenagers are not influencers, which is why I'm finding it quite hard to understand as to why they were posted on Influencers in the Wild to begin with. And you'll actually come to find, scrolling through a lot of their videos, that for some reason, whenever men are doing the exact same thing, it's like, oh my god, king, king, king. Men, women, and everyone in between, people who don't want to conform, okay, deserve to be treated all all the same. It's really strange to me how we're painting these well, not we, because I'm certainly not, and you're certainly not, but it's strange how they're painting these teenage girls in such a negative light. What is 2024? One of the mums of these teenagers actually left this comment. It's disappointing to see someone with your influence use their platform to target and harass young people, especially when one of them is my daughter. These actions can have real lasting consequences on their mental health, and it's not the kind of behavior I'd expect from someone in your position. Which is true, because originally Influencers in the Wild was an Instagram account that posted videos of really self-absorbed, obnoxious influencers doing inappropriate things in public and even disrupting public order. Nowadays, they absolutely love to post videos of women, teenage girls who are not influencers in any capacity and will bully them but mask it as just trolling. Posting a video of this nature to over 5 million people is now going to show each of these girls that they should always be aware of whenever they think they're having a little bit too much fun. I mean, these girls really should have just stood there on their phones in the basketball court doing absolutely nothing, not interacting with one another, not having any fun, just pure depression, to, avoid being blasted on social media as these really inconsiderate, cringy teenagers who just won't shut the hell up. My ears are bleeding. Oh wait, they would have been bullied for that too, because younger Gen Zers, they're just so addicted to their phones. Imagine standing around and doing nothing and not harming anybody. Cringe! Where is the line? I really question the people who film half-naked women minding their own damn business on what looks to be a vacation of some sort. Oh, but drama queen, what if she's been there doing that for ages? I mean, how hilarious and embarrassing and cringy is that? No, we need to retrain our brains again to become normal and not be so rotted by what we see on social media on the daily. It is not embarrassing, nor is it cringy just taking a picture of yourself. I mean, maybe the person who was filming this woman is just really jealous that they don't have that kind of confidence. Neither do I, man. I already find it hard enough to take photos with people who are like, drama queen, because I feel like people around me are like, does she think she's some big celebrity? Trust me, I don't. I think of the people who come up to me and ask for a photo being my long lost friends. That's all, okay? That aside, the woman was literally waiting until she was all alone to take those photos. It's like people have a problem whenever someone takes photos of themselves and there's kids or there's someone else in the background. But she stood there, was considerate enough, and waited, yet you still had a problem. Why? She looks hot as all hell. Let her take her photos. That's not to say that you're not allowed to find it cringe that somebody is in a hotel pool trying to make social media content. Not that I personally find it cringe, because you should be allowed to do whatever the fuck you want without judgment as long as you're not harming yourself or other people. But what I find to be more concerning is the normalization of filming random strangers minding their business, not messing about, purely for the purpose of getting attention on social media. So it's cringe for that person over there wanting to get attention on social media. But the same doesn't go for you, the person who is sitting up in their hotel room filming this random person that you don't know. I find it highly inappropriate that this is the kind of society we live within now, just accepting weirdos filming absolute strangers without their consent and knowledge, just making fun of them for existing. That's why personally I've never been a part of the target audience who is sat there watching these videos and like, Someone existing, bro, imagine. And I think it's because there's an obvious level of empathy for another human being, but I could imagine myself being put in that position that I didn't ask to be put in. I'm sure whenever I've gone out and I've received discrimination against being goth out in public, I didn't think it was controversial, but it seems to be with a lot of these, what would you say? I don't like using the word normies, it's a bit cringe. Oh no, I use cringe. Sorry. I'm sure that the one time very recently that a guy with a group of girls decided to call me a scary, ugly bitch because I was wearing my trad goth makeup, they probably took videos of me. They probably bullied me. They probably even posted them. I will never know that, thank the universe. These kind of situations can happen to literally anyone. It could happen to you, the viewer, sitting at home. Maybe you're doing something random and a little bit quirky out in public and people are like, imagine being a confident in themselves human being. I couldn't. I couldn't imagine ever being that person who lives such a sad and pathetic life that I gotta whip out my phone, open TikTok and film someone being a human being. And it's kind of a paradox in that sense because it's like, you're filming this woman because you think it's cringy that she's filming herself for social media content, yet here you are using this random lady for what? Social media content. Now in context, you are no better than somebody who is quote unquote self-obsessed, taking selfies or TikToks of themselves because are you not using your phone to film this person for your own personal gain? Now imagine if I was in the pool and I saw some behavior from a hotel room that I thought to be cringy and I'm just stood there. Look at how cringe this is, guys. Oh my god, I have so many followers. Look at how cringe this is. That would be invading somebody's privacy because they're up there in their hotel room. Then why is it okay to do the same thing, but oh, it's because it's in a public area, so it must be okay. You are literally in your hotel room filming this half-naked woman. That is really, really weird to me. And the fact that it's not really a popular thing to call out this behavior, rather participate in it and be like, oh my god, that is so cringe. I could never be caught dead taking a selfie.
Where? Whoa. I didn't see that.
Putting the really pathetic snickering aside, there is something very satisfying being sat here today shaming the people who think it's so funny stood there filming and laughing at somebody living their best life. And this video in particular actually got a lot of hate comments for some reason. How could she be living her best life when she's so obsessed with how the people on social media view her? What? Some people travel alone and want to take pictures of themselves. It's much better going up to a random stranger and taking time out of their day and being like, hey, can you take this Instagram photo for me? Yeah, if I was solo traveling too, I too would prop up a tripod. Who cares? It's not affecting anybody. It's not affecting you. But this person seems to be really tilted about it because they're jealous of that kind of confidence. And I know, right? It sounds so cliche to even have that come out of my mouth like, oh, drama queen, that's what my mum used to say to me when I was younger, when I'd come home from school and crying because the girls were bullying me. Yes, I get it. And it is quite a little bit of a cop-out statement, but why else? What would provoke you to start filming a random person taking photos of themselves? It's again the paradox coming back in where it's like, okay, it's cringe that she's filming herself for social media content, yet you're doing the same. You're using her for social media content. How is that okay? How does that make any sense? You could have simply done such a nice thing for a random person that day, gone up to her and been like, hey, do you need help taking photos? I mean, I got a couple minutes. Let's get some really, really, really cunty shots. But that's not necessarily rewarding, is it? Because it doesn't really give any instant gratification like it does whenever you shame somebody randomly on social media. As long as she's not in anybody's way, not obstructing the peace of the public, which she's doing neither of those things, What's the problem exactly? And people love to say that it's an abnormal and narcissistic thing to be taking photos of yourself, which, I mean, yeah, in some cases, maybe there is some abnormality and narcissism at play whenever somebody is trying to get the absolute best shot of themselves for social media validation. But might I bring up that video? People have a problem whenever you're just standing there looking like you're not enjoying yourself at a concert. You're not bopping your head, you're not dancing, you just stood there like a fucking statue. People also have a problem if you're to have silly fun at a concert, enjoying yourself, you know, moving your body around to the beats of the song. I mean, isn't that what going to concerts is for? To enjoy your favorite artist? To dance a little bit? Maybe this looks a bit uncouth to people, and I would say, personally, I would never do this out in public just because it's not really the way I choose to dance necessarily. However, I'm not that girl, so she's her own person. If she wants to dance like that, what is the problem? What is the problem? Oh, but wait, social media wouldn't be shaming her if she had a different kind of body, if she was slim, thick, if she was, you know, really bouncing those cheeks. You can literally never win in these situations, especially if you have some creepy ass dude in the crowd ready with his phone to film whoever throws it back at a checks notes, throwing it back kind of concert. That's the music that I heard, and I was like, okay, that's not some like Gorgoroth, even though if that's how you choose to dance, listening to Gorgoroth, I do not judge. I think that's personally, wow, what a slay. What, could you say that this girl is acting a little bit silly up in the seating sections? I mean, maybe, but was her punishment to be filmed and plastered all over social media in this fashion? Honestly, no. We live in a time where being even remotely quirky, weird, and or unique is something to be shamed on social media. Regardless of your opinions of this girl throwing her pelvic bone back and forth, it is strange to film somebody that you do not know, post them to Twitter of all places, for our girl to get quote tweeted to absolute hell and back. All I can see is a girl letting a little loose and having a real good time at a concert. I really don't care if that's not how you would present yourself out in public or how you would act out in public. However, she's at a concert. She's at a concert. She's not randomly doing this in front of children. She's doing it at an adult concert. I think this is actually what's helping out my anxiety a lot, is really just sitting down and rationally thinking about things. And yes, anxiety is pretty irrational, we all know that. But will being cringe matter when you're dead? Will being cringe matter when you're 6 feet under the dirt and you no longer exist? The world is still turning. People forget about you being cringe in public too. Wow, we really do care a little too much about being a little bit quirky, a little bit too whimsy out in public, so that we avoid being filmed out in public and put all over TikTok. Whenever this shit happens though, it invites insanely negative attention that these people did not ask for. It's one thing to post yourself and garner negative feedback from that, because that's on you, but it's a whole different other arena when you're doing that to somebody who has no knowledge that they're being filmed in the first place. I already know there's going to be flocks of comments being like, well, this girl shouldn't have been dancing like that. Why? Why exactly? So that she wasn't filmed and posted on social media. See how rotted y'all's brains are from social media in general? So somebody is not allowed to be silly because they will receive consequences for that. Mind you, she's just dancing, okay? Whether it be bad or whether it be good, she's dancing. She doesn't deserve to be shamed for that publicly. It's really heartbreaking to me that social media greenlights this behavior constantly, and how this video probably will not be taken seriously whatsoever, and how I'm just yapping. But seriously, think about it. We live in a time where you're not allowed to have fun simply because you might be posted to social media, you might be shamed for it, you might be ridiculed, and people will start calling up your work, they'll start emailing your school. Oh my god, Wendy, guys really need to see what I just sent you. Emily was throwing that back a bit too much at the concert last night, and I think you guys really need to look into that. Is this who you want representing your brand? Dude, I will always be of the belief that it's one thing filming somebody who is doing something really destructive, really harmful and disgusting so that we can properly shame those people. But someone dancing, someone taking selfies, someone making TikToks of themselves, I'm sorry, but I don't really see anything wrong with that. It's invasive, it's creepy, and it's downright strange filming people in public doing their own thing. I said what I said today, and I have very little care factor for those who do this kind of thing on the regular basis. Was getting your video posted onto influencers in the wild really worth it when you've just destroyed somebody's mental health, when you've just made somebody so anxious to go outside and be a normal person? So with all of that being said, everybody, do I have anybody in the audience today who has unfortunately been the victim of a random stranger filming you, a random stranger out in public doing absolutely nothing wrong? You're just maybe being a little bit too quirky. Oh no, quirky, cringe, uniqueness, disgusting. You know the whole sad beige TikTok trend? It's like we have to have that kind of behavior out in public in order to not be filmed and shamed just for being human. I just thank you for your stay at Yappersville today, everybody. I really appreciate your residency. Take care of yourselves, and most of all, love your fucking selves.